Literal equations look scary because they have more than one letter. On the SAT, that is the point. Can you isolate a variable when numbers are not the only symbols in the way? The mechanics are the same as solving for x in a normal equation. You still balance both sides. You still undo operations in reverse order. A literal equation is a formula. You are asked to solve for one specific variable, and every other symbol behaves like a number you do not know yet. You might divide by r, subtract a term, or factor out a common factor. The algebra is not new. The only new skill is patience with symbols. Example 1, easy. The distance formula states d equals r times t. Solve for t, the time. T is multiplied by r, divide both sides by r, assuming r is not 0. That is the rearranged formula you use when you know distance and rate and want time. The same isolation mindset scales up. Formulas with parentheses just need one extra distribution or subtraction before you divide. Example 2, medium. Start with A equals P times the quantity 1 plus A or T. Solve for R, the interest rate symbol in many finance formulas. First divide both sides by P so the parentheses are easier to work with. Subtract 1 from both sides to isolate the term containing R. Finally divide by T to solve for R. You can write it as a single fraction if you like, but this form is already acceptable. Notice R is not a number here. It's a target. You expressed it in terms of A, P, and T exactly as requested. When x appears in both numerator and denominator, clear fractions first. Then the problem behaves like a linear equation with symbolic coefficients. Example 3, harder, solve for x in the equation ax plus b, all over cx plus d equals e, where a, b, c, d, and e are constants. Clear the denominator by multiplying both sides by cx plus d. That gives a x plus b equals e times the quantity cx plus d. Distribute e on the right, ecx plus ed. Collect x terms on one side, subtract ecx from both sides, and subtract b from both sides. Factor x out of the left side. You get x times the quantity a minus ec. Divide by a minus ec, assuming that denominator is not 0 and you have x isolated. This structure shows up in advanced rearrangement problems. The SAT rewards clean factoring more than clever tricks. Common mistake, trying to plug in made-up numbers for letters that are supposed to stay symbolic. If the question says solve for R, your final answer should still contain other parameters. Right mindset, move terms, factor, divide, exactly like algebra class, just with more letters in the line. SAT pro tip, isolate step by step. When x appears in two places after you clear denominators, collect like terms and factor before you divide. Also, watch domain issues. Never divide by 0, and if a denominator contains x, note values that are not allowed unless the problem says otherwise. Recap time. Literal equations use the same balancing moves you already trust. After you eliminate denominators, distribute and collect terms before isolating the target variable, factoring when helpful. And remember, solving for one letter does not mean every other letter must disappear from the final expression. Practice more on NovaMaths.